Hey everybody, this is Matt Steigerwald, chef out here at Wilson's Farm. Another installment today of the Cook the Book video series. Today we're doing Prune by Gabrielle Hamilton, one of my favorites. Gabrielle Hamilton is a chef in New York. She had a restaurant called Prune on the Lower Manhattan for 23 years, closed during COVID. But the book has meant a lot to me and meant a lot to a lot of chefs I know. Her style is kind of homey, but what I often try to do myself, kind of make the most attractive dinner party that you could do. A lot of like local ingredients, strong flavors, European, French flavors generally, and it's just always been a great inspiration to me. She also writes. She's a great writer. She has a memoir called Blood, Bones, and Butter, which I highly recommend. She did a piece in the New York Times when she was closing Prune that, just like her cookbook, I go back to and read once in a while. It's just one of those pieces that just succinctly puts together working in a restaurant, living in a restaurant, owning a restaurant, and closing a restaurant. The book itself is kind of one of a kind. The way she's written the recipes, whether it's accurately how she sends the recipes to her line cooks, whether it's accurate or not, she writes it like that. She writes it the way she would talk to a line cook, the way I would talk to a line cook. She has a way of making sure that they're not over chefing things. No, she doesn't like tweezers. There's one recipe in here she talks about. Best way to get this on the plate is tweezers, although we really don't like tweezers. It's not our kind of food. This is the best way to do it, so we use it. I think that's interesting. She isn't afraid to put that stuff on the plate that's super simple. There's a confidence to the book. She has this kind of well-known now dish of canned sardines and Triscuits. It is what it is, and it's delicious. It's funny to see it on a highly rated restaurant in Lower Manhattan, but there it is, and it's wonderful. Her restaurant only had 30 seats, so she could do little things here and there. She could take things off the menu, put things on the menu as she wanted without a lot of trouble because there weren't a lot of people coming in. I mean, it was full, but 30 people is pretty small. She wasn't afraid to do French things that you wouldn't normally see. Here's like a eggy omelet crepe thing. You know, you just don't see some of these things. Apple galette, pumpkin with yeast, which is something that you see a lot of that now. You see a lot of nutritional yeast. I'm actually gonna do a version of that on a menu soon for one of our dinners. And the lamb, I don't think I've ever really seen blade chops offered before, but I sought them out and here they are and they're wonderful. I'll probably use that as well on a menu soon. When I opened the Lincoln Cafe in 2001, friends had eaten at her restaurant. It opened in '99, and they talked about a dish they had that was referred to as a smoked duck breast with a small rye omelet. I mean, I've eaten a lot of food in my life, and I've read a lot of cookbooks, and I just couldn't figure out what a small rye omelet was, and I never really followed up on it with them, so I kept trying to do versions of it. I'd put like caraway in the egg. I'd put crumbled rye bread toasted inside of an omelet. I don't know why it always stuck with me, but I never ate it, but it basically is just an omelet with some rye bread crumbles. And for some reason that has always stuck with me as a dish I've never heard of or seen since or really wanted to see since. It's a weird one, but I know people who have had it since then and said it was delicious. So it's just always one that stuck with me, and I'm really glad it's in the book because when the book finally came out, I could actually see a picture of it and see what she did, which is basically what I did. So we made a few things here today. I took a few liberties with them just because of local produce and because of my own style. With the lamb blade chops, you know, they do have that fattiness from the shoulder, really, really delicious off the grill. We just do a simple rub, olive oil, salt, pepper, a little wild oregano, dried oregano on the branch. We buy that and we kind of squeeze it over things and it just brings out a great aroma. Grilled hard, we like to get that nice crusty grill, keep it kind of medium rare, and then garnish with the Piaz salad. So onions, raw shaved onions, sumac, parsley, and we put white beans in there. I've seen this salad before with white beans. I've seen it with tomatoes as well. The white beans is something I've seen more often, so I wanted to do that. The sweetness of the onions is fantastic. We finish with a little olive oil and a little lemon. We do that with a lot of things here. Carrots, super sweet carrots from Forest at Onion Grove, blanched in highly salted water, and while they're still warm from the blanch, tossed with preserved lemon butter. Butter, preserved lemons, shallots, garlic, and mint. In the book, she uses basil. I choose mint because I like mint. Toss with the butter right out of the water and garnish with the honeycomb to give some sweetness and kind of a textural interest. Zucchini, everybody's always looking for something to do with zucchini in the summer. We have tons of it, and it becomes a great item for staff meals. With this, she really just does a simple thing. It's got a lot of butter, local poblano chilies sliced into rings, scallions, and zucchini from Donna at Morning Glory Farms, poblanos from Bountiful Harvest, and scallions from Bountiful Harvest, and just a long cook, really long cook, half hour with the butter and the shallots and the poblanos and garlic. And that's it, and it's just melt in your mouth and delicious. It's a wonderful side dish for anything. You know, I mentioned that she has always been a big influence on me. When we opened up the restaurant here, there was a dish in her book that was grilled head-on big shrimp, which I always love anyway, tossed with an anchovy butter. Those flavors, I love anchovies, and I love that kind of lusty feel of having to peel a big shrimp with butter on your hands. And that was always kind of an inspiration to me. When we first opened up, I did a version of that. I did it with a little hummus and a little sumac as well, but the anchovy butter was there, and that's always been one of my favorite dishes, and a dish that I have always stuck to as a great opening dish for my restaurant here. Anyway, so thanks for watching. Prune is the book. Gabrielle Hamilton is the chef. She has a memoir called Blood, Bones, and Butter. I highly recommend that as well. The dishes we made here represent kind of the soul of her style. We made a few amendments based on local ingredients, which is what we do and what I would think she would want us to do. So I highly recommend both books, Prune and Blood, Bones, and Butter, and the article that she wrote for the New York Times, I'm sure you can find online. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time with another, hopefully, great cookbook.